Okay, so let's talk about solving. So solving in general is going to follow the idea that really we're going to turn things into year 12 functions. So if somebody says to you something like, can you solve cosec theta equals, let's go with 2. Okay. Well, I've picked a nice number here, but you don't have a cosec button on your calculator. So that's a bit of a clue for what we're going to do. Well, we're going to express things in terms of the trig functions we learned in year 12. So third letter is S. So that means cosec theta is 1 over sine theta equals 2. And then if I take the reciprocal of both sides, you can think of cross multiplying if you like, but I'm just going to think of taking the reciprocal of both sides. I would get sine theta equals a half. And look, we're back to a nice situation here that we are quite familiar with, hopefully. So the trick with solving is that you don't really solve. You just sort of convert it into sine and cos and tan and so on, and then take it from there. So we're going to do these two here on the left. So for the first one here, sec, I'd encourage you just to think about what sec is going to be the same as. And let's go through. So I could start by rewriting it as follows. I could do the reciprocal on both sides, and I get cos theta equals minus 0.4. I'm going to then do inverse cos of minus 0.4. And then if we think about a cos graph very, very quickly, I'm going to be given this value here. I will find this. This is an obtuse number, so it's going to be somewhere between 90 and 180. And then how do I find this other value here? Well, I will do 360 minus my answer. So that's the way it's going to go. Let's give you some numbers for that. So you should end up with 113.6 as your principal value. And then if you do 360 minus, you'll get 246.5. Okay, so the trick to solving it is that we didn't really solve that. We just talked about cos and did it that way. Let's do the next one. So again, have a little think about what's going to happen with this one here. So it's cot that we want to go for. On this, because it's about 2 theta, just a little reminder, one way that you can make sure you get all of the answers right for the final domain stated is you can adjust the domain. So because it's 2 theta, I've multiplied those both by 2, 0 to 720. And I'll show you how that comes into it in just a second. So we write it out in terms of tan. We do the reciprocal on both sides. And to get 2 theta, I must do inverse tan of 10 over 6. Now, when I do that, what I'm going to get, I'll just move that one out of the way, is I'm going to get 59. It's tan, so the only rule about extra solutions for tan is we add 180 because that's how often it repeats. And I'm going to keep doing this, so as I said before, until I've covered 0 to 720. 59, 239, 419, 599. You can check it for yourself if you like, but if I do another one, it's outside of this domain that we're looking for. Okay? And then when I have those answers, just a reminder that going from 2 theta to theta, this should be the final bit that you do. Okay? Lots of people make mistakes with this one, but the undoing of that part there should come at the end. You find all of your solutions, please, immediately after you do inverse sine, inverse cos, inverse tan. That's the time to use those rules about when it repeats, 180 minus, 360 minus, etc., etc. And you undo this bit as the final step. Okay, so that's how we solve 2 fairly common sort of small questions like that one there. Now, we're going to try a harder one, but I'd encourage you first to have a go for yourself. Watch out for the fact that it's 3 theta. So pause the video and have a go. Assuming you've now done that, let's have a look at the answer. So you're going to want to look for values between 0 and 1080, because that's 3 theta. The third letter there, that's S, so we want sine. Then we move to this step here, sine 3 theta equals a half. When you do inverse sine, when you do inverse sine on both sides, you will get 30 on your calculator. That's your principal value. But this is the time, please, to get all the other values. So 180 minus that is the rule for principal and partner for sine. And then I'm adding 360s onto these to get my other values. And I am going to keep doing this until I'm satisfied that I don't have any further space. If you try adding 360 on there, it's going to be outside of that domain there. Okay, so we are stopping there. So that's what 3 theta equals. So what does theta equal? Well, that is where you're going to divide by 3 at the end. Okay. And that's how we sort of solve our questions. And you would get a decent number of marks, actually, for something like that, which is really not a bad process at all if you just practice that one. So we'll do some harder solving questions later, but that's it for our sort of basic solving with reciprocals.